I think you're coping the fact that the Republicans control the House and they control the Senate and Donald Trump is the president, and that's why you're coping.
Oh, wait. So
that's what it is.
So the Republicans control the government?
Well, yeah.
Is the government shut down?
Because of you.
Oh, wait, but you just said the Republicans control the government.
Yes, unfortunately. They do not.
You just said that they do.
They do. They control the government, yes.
So it's okay, and they shut it down then.
Well, we know who shut it down, though. You know, those patients for CMS patients, for example, for Medicare patients who now don't have an ability to go see their physicians. You can thank the left party for that.
Wait, why would I thank the party that's not currently controlling the government for that?
Because unfortunately, the way the American policy works is that this is the only thing on the bills that is required by bipartisan decision, and that never happened here. So that's the problem.
Okay.
You guys will never take
accountability. Then you also said, oh, well, like, look at all these people that can't access their, like, physicians right now. You could thank the left for that. What about the 10 million low-income Americans that got kicked off of Medicaid because of the big, beautiful bill? Can we thank Trump for that? Okay. All right. Perfect. Dude, why the fuck? Okay, listen to me. Emphasis on the fuck. Do you support the worst president of your 36, there we go, years of life?
That's so inappropriate for you, because this is a matter of opinions. Because just because you believe he's terrible, that really doesn't mean that he is. The clash of opinions, clash of visions, vision of the anointed. Try to read Thomas Sowell, for example. That's a good start.
I'm literally God, okay? So whatever I think is true. I'm just kidding. That's blasphemy, okay? I don't actually believe
But that's what you just said. That's what all the liberals think. That's the problem.
Liberals don't literally think that they're God. Probably the guy who's trying to play all-powerful authoritarian dictator, taking his fist and slamming it down by declaring war in American cities and giving the military an illegal directive to arrest citizens.
That's your opinion, though. That's just your opinion. That's all your opinion. Are you saying Donald Trump had not had a single policy that was majorly agreed upon the Americans that it was good?
No, like for instance, one that I think that majority of Americans agree that was good was the Genius Act that was passed under his administration, bipartisan. Same thing first time with the Farm Bill, the COVID boost, the expediting like the approval of the vaccine too. Like I think that those were like three like bipartisan policies passed. And
how about No Surprise Act? How about that? No Surprise Act?
I want you.
I'm sorry, Dean. Go ahead.
I want you to respond to what I said though, right?
Sure, go ahead.
Because you told me that it was an opinion that Donald Trump declared war in American cities. Yeah, Trump's opinion. He's the one that said that.
I mean, this is your opinion, because a lot of Republicans don't see it as a declaration of war in American cities. We see it as a declaration of war on crime, for example.
Okay, well then you're just delusional, because he's the one that said that this is a war from within.
Ad hominems, great. Chat, you see how he wins ad hominems? That's what it is. That's the vision of the anointed. That's the vision of the libs. Right? You can't provide the evidence. You yourself contradict yourself, because you're coming here and you're stating on your lives that, hey, look, I'm also good, so emotionally moral. There's a moral plane between us and you, right? So then I'm going to use the logic, and I'm advocate, because in the next primaries, I want to make sure that everybody use logic, common sense, and evidence. But here you go, Dan. You engage in absolute ad hominem for the President Trump, and there is no logic and common sense in ad hominem. If you could have provided, and you agree on your own accords, that President Trump did produce policies that were beneficial, and by the way, regarding to the Patriots, do you consider Abraham Lincoln as a patriot?
I didn't say that Donald Trump produced these policies. I said that they were passed under his administration. They were produced by Democrats and Republicans in Congress. Like particularly, like the Genius Act was drafted by a Democrat. And then you just told me that like I was like throwing out an ad hominem. I called you delusional. Well, I apologize for using.
But also Donald Trump. You're constantly insulting him.
Thank you so much. So I put you on mute just because you interrupted me. So I apologize for calling you delusional. My bad. But my point still stands, though, because you said that in your opinion, you didn't take what Donald Trump did as a declaration of war. Okay, well, then I think that you're silly. Is that maybe a better word than delusional? The reason why I think that you're silly here is because he called it war. Like he was like, yeah, this is war. That's what he said. That's what he said, man. I'm sorry that I'm the one to break it to you. He's the one that called it war.
That's not what you said.
That is what I said.
Listening. You said that he declared the war on Americans. That is what you said. Is that true?
Yes, and then my evidence was that he called his deployments of the military in American cities war.
Okay, but he called it a war on crime. So he deploys American troops for the war on crime, not on American citizens. Where are you sourcing that Donald Trump said that he is employing the war on American citizens? This is possibly going to be then a genocide of the American people then.
Of course.
Then it's going to be an overtakeover.
So of course.
So what are you saying?
My source said he was declaring war on American citizens was like a week and a half ago when he was giving a speech to his top generals from the Pentagon, and he said that the real enemy is the enemy from within, and that he was going to deploy the military in American cities like Memphis, like Chicago, like Portland, like San Francisco, and that this is a war from within. And then he even went on to direct his Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to use these American cities as quote unquote training ground for the American military.
Wow. Wow. Can you source that? Yeah, can you source that?
Yeah, for sure. Which one?
Your statement, for example, that he directed his generals that deployment of the American troops as the war of crime would be then a training ground exercises for American troops to get better. Not that like American troops need some training, right? We are probably one of the most proficient and strongest military in the world. But according to you, we need training. According to Donald Trump, we need training.
Well,
According to
yeah.
And just because you're typing, right? Can you bring it on a big screen so the chat can see that I'm a liar and then you actually so benevolently correct?
Yeah, for sure. You said they want me to put it on the big screen so I could expose you as wrong?
Oh, that would be good because then you can source yourself. That way the chat can actually see what they actually gave money to, you know?
Yeah,
That's important.
Sounds fucking good, bro.
Good. And by the way, you crying for Charlie Kirk and then demonizing him later. Do you think that's cool, bro?
We'll happily talk about Charlie Kirk next, my friend. Don't try to pivot.
We're not pivoting. We're just, again, exposing the libs and the Democrats for what they are. That's what it is.
It's an absolute pivot. There you go. Read that.
Can you read through the whole article? You're just giving us the headline.
I can't fit the whole article in a like 9:16 aspect ratio TikTok live, silly goose.
That's headline. That's a headline fallacy, right? That you actually Trump calls for using, and this is by the way we know what that means, right? That someone who wrote the article gives a headline. Now all the idiots who are the libs and Democrats who are listening to you right now believe you that the article actually has any evidence to figure that out. But actually, when you look inside the article, you'll figure out that this is the conclusion.
The evidence.
Conclusion. He didn't call it. Did he say it?
Yeah, no, literally called it. Trump calls U.S. cities a quote-unquote training ground for the military. Yes, this actually happened.
I wish we could read the body of the article. That
okay, then go do it.
It actually says it.
Then go to Google, type in
we'll do it.
AP.
No, we'll do it.
Trump calls for U.S. cities to use U.S. cities as training ground for the military.
And I'll post it too. I'll post it too. That's great.
Don't worry,
I'll
man.
post it too after I'm done reading.
Yeah, feel free to post about it. We've all been posting about this for the last couple of weeks now.
Yeah, great. So now you know why people support Trump.
This isn't new at all. Yeah, people support Trump because, excuse me, you like to deny fucking reality. You came up here, you try to like fucking puff your chest. You were like, oh, Dean, I want you to provide an article. I want you to provide an article, okay, to prove that Donald Trump called or said that he wants to use the military as a training ground for the American military. Okay, and then I provided you with that source. Okay, and then now you're like, oh, well, it's a fallacy. It's a headline fallacy. It didn't actually happen. So you don't think that Donald Trump actually said this, right?
Well, I need to read the article to see it.
Well, how about I just play you the clip of Donald Trump actually saying this?
And even
we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, military, because we're going into Chicago.
Dude, come on, bro.
Okay, so he said it. Okay.
He did. He said it.
All right, so he said it. Does that prove your point that he is imploring war against American citizens?
So it proves my point. Yes, that he said that he wants to use the military to go into these cities and use these cities as training grounds for them. Yes.
But no, you said that he uses it against American citizens. He declared war against American citizens. That was your claim. Prove it.
Oh, well, yeah. So that was the second part of proof. The first part of the proof is that he just called it war. Yeah, but both of those two things.
Oh, my God. So not war on crime. So you don't think that he's the incentive, the intent matters. So he actually tries to go after the bad people, tries to crack the crime, but not against the American citizens, not against Americans.
It's crimes.
Americans. And by the way, who commits crimes? By the way, who commits crimes? By the way, who commits crimes?
Trump, 34 felonies adjudicated for raping a woman.
But do you see how you're virtue signaling right now?
I'm just answering your question.
You're virtue signaling.
I'm just answering your question. You asked me who commits crimes, and I told you, Trump. 34 felonies.
Oh, really?
He was held civil liable for rape. He's violated the First Amendment in the last 8 months. He's violated the 14th Amendment in the last 8 months. He's called for termination of the 22nd Amendment in the last 8 months. He had a federal judge in Oregon say that he was violated the 10th Amendment by deploying the National Guard in Portland. He had a federal judge in Illinois say that he was in violation of the 10th Amendment for attempting to deploy the National Guard in Chicago. Yeah, this guy commits so many fucking crimes. Intentionally concealed classified documents in Mar-a-Lago.
This is a crime now.
What's a crime? What's a crime? This absolute fucking intellectual murder? I completely agree.
Wow, great. So Abraham Lincoln, when he actually violated the Constitution several times, and yet you actually said, well, he's not patriotic. You have so many people throughout the history who actually violated the Constitution, went against the Constitution, yet were very legit patriots of that country. And on certain occasions, and if truly Donald Trump violates Constitution in the way that you actually claim that he does, why don't he is being held accountable as Supreme Court but there is actually legislation, right? You said check and points and balances. This is not what the United States is, right? So how come he still almighty sits and provides us with the security that we so need, cleans the towns from trash of like gangsters, MS-13s, and then also helps people with illegal immigration? Like some Americans, unlike you, believe that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Okay, well, to respond to that first part of the question, if he was truly violating the Constitution, then why is he not being held accountable for it? Well, he's not being impeached or indicted in Congress because he controls Congress. Yeah. When he didn't control Congress, he was impeached twice. Yeah. But then when he won the presidency, he actually fired Jack Smith, and he fired all of the individuals formed through special counsels to attempt to prosecute him for conspiracy to rig the outcome of the 2020 election, such as he admitted to. Think about it. And it's like, it's not even a question of like, has he violated the Constitution?
Wow.
That's not a question, okay? That is a fact, sir. Like, for instance, I'll give you a very clear example. Executive Order number 14160, signed into law his very first day into office, my friend, violated the 14th Amendment because it attempted to take away birthright citizenship from the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil, even though if you just fucking read the 14th Amendment, it says all persons born on American soil and subject to the jurisdiction of our law is a citizen, and there's been case law since 1897 following the ratification of this amendment in 1865 that absurdly and demonstrate clearly that the children of undocumented immigrants born on the soil are citizens. And then here he is violating that amendment, attempting to illegally take that right away from them with an executive order. Do you see how this is not a matter of opinion, but rather a question of fact?
No problem. This is a question of fact, as you previously mentioned. But then, once again, you kind of hold the Congress and everybody else who you claim under Donald Trump like completely idiots, right? So in other words, that because he controls them, like he's so magnificent, they have no ability to vote for themselves. They have no ability. So everybody votes across the party lines, right? This is what it is. Nobody has an ability.
Around 90% of the GOP is just absolutely Trump. What do you want me to do, Trump? I'll do whatever you want, Trump. Yeah, about 90%.
Okay, 90%. That's statistically, you have a study to support that. That's like, this is just a personal opinion.
Thank you so much for the Leon the Kid. I appreciate you for the love, Camilla. Thank you so much for the love. Oh, well, that 90% figure comes from like the fact of like the House voting for
Dean's
the release
fact.
Well, it comes from the fact that the House, like in voting for the release of the Epstein file, was able to get every single Democrat on board, and then they were able to get Thomas Massie, who's a Republican, on board. They were able to get MTG, who's a Republican, on board. Fucking crazy, by the way. But then all the other Republicans are like, no, we want to protect the pedophiles because Trump told us to. He called it an act of hostility to vote for the release of the files that expose the pedos. Yeah.
Are you a conspiracy person? You truly believe that the Epstein files would have something in those files that would actually be enough in order to impeach Trump or produce significant criminal evidence against him in order for him to be put in jail? This is like we're live chat. Is that what you believe?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I don't understand why you're now fucking shifting the goalposts. It's like every time I respond to a question that you ask, all of a sudden you ignore my answer and move on to a new question. Like, once again, the question that you asked me was, well, why do you think that 90% of Republicans in Congress just want to suck his ring and do whatever the fuck? Well, I mean, hey, listen, man, my evidence was that 90% of the Republicans in the House have just been unwilling to vote for the release of the Epstein files. So that's where that claim is coming from. And then also, you even shifted the goalposts away from that. Even that question, how do you know that 90% of people in Congress are like staunchly pro-Trump no matter what? Even that was an example of you shifting the goalposts away from my original claim that I made, demonstrating the fact that Donald Trump has infringed on the Constitution, such as an executive order I was telling you about that infringed on the 14th Amendment. Sir?
Fine. So let me respond. Fine. So, based on what you're saying, guys, fine. It's 90%, according to you, 90% of the, of the Trump supporters, so to say, I'm not going to do that. And therefore, basically believe this is because they're trying to protect Trump. However, if you going to do a Karl Popper's theory about the falsification, you're going to have to consider maybe there are other possibilities why I decided to do so. Number one would be they are Homo sapiens, and they actually decided that actually this is have no merit, and therefore this have nothing to do with Donald Trump. So by the way, association and causality, as you know, not really truly related. So until you truly can prove that there is Donald Trump who told them that, hey, look, otherwise you're going to be terminated or there will be political consequences, everything that you're providing so far is just an association. It's the same fallacy that you claimed on this live that you don't want to commit. And yet you're still committing it. So that's interesting.
The crazy shit here is that I truly can prove it. Because you just said, unless you could truly prove that he would be threatening them with political consequences, then I don't have an argument. I can. So on the day when we had the victims of Epstein speaking out in front of the Capitol, Donald Trump's White House put out a statement calling it an act of hostility to vote for the release of the files in Congress.
Okay. Did he threaten any one of them individually? Like what? Did he threaten any one of them individually? What?
Well, he threatened anybody that would vote for the files being released, as he said it would be an act of hostility against the administration to vote for the release. Dude, that's crazy. I've like proof for everything I believe in.
It's intellectually disingenuous.
The only thing that's intellectually disingenuous here is you, and you know it. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's ad hominem. That's ad hominem. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
okay.
it's not an ad hominem. Oh, wait, if it was an ad hominem for me to call you intellectually dishonest, then it was an ad hominem for you to call me intellectually dishonest. What the fuck? You suck. You just said, Dean, you're intellectually dishonest. Then I was like, no, the only thing intellectually dishonest here is you. And then they're like, man, I'm going to whine and cry like a piss boy. That's an ad hominem. Shut the fuck up. Feel free to unmute. I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit hard on you.
That's okay. That's fine, bro. It's all right. You're coping. I get it. We saw you act with Charlie. That's fine, bro. No problems there.
You think that I'm coping? Why would I be coping over winning a debate?
Winning a debate? You think anyone competes with you? Why God? You're like 18 or 20. You think anybody really gives a shit? Like, I think you're coping because...
That's cope. No, that's cope. That's cope. That's
really?
cope. That's cope. I just said I'm winning the debate. And then you responded to that by saying, you think I give a shit? That's cope. Yeah.
Really? That's what you think what it is? Okay. I think you're coping the fact that the Republicans control the House and they control the Senate and Donald Trump is the president, and that's why you're coping.
Oh, wait. So
that's what it is.
So the Republicans control the government?
Well, yeah.
Is the government shut down?
Because of you.
Oh, wait, but you just said the Republicans control the government.
Yes, unfortunately. They do not.
You just said that they do.
They do. They control the government, yes.
So it's okay, and they shut it down then.
Well, we know who shut it down, though. You know, those patients for CMS patients, for example, for Medicare patients who now don't have an ability to go see their physicians. You can thank the left party for that.
Wait, why would I thank the party that's not currently controlling the government for that?
Because unfortunately, the way the American policy works is that this is the only thing on the bills that is required by bipartisan decision, and that never happened here. So that's the problem.
Okay.
You guys will never take
Then you also said, oh, well, like, look at all these people that can't access their, like, physicians right now. You could thank the left for that. What about the 10 million low-income Americans that got kicked off of Medicaid because of the big, beautiful bill? Can we thank Trump for that?
Why do you want to thank Trump for that?
Well, it's because it was his one big, beautiful bill.
Well, his beautiful bill is supposed to provide other subsidiaries, for example, of the VA Act, for example, that he actually expanded the coverage of the VA veterans and increased their coverage under the healthcare services. What do you have to say about that?
You're talking about the VA Emissions Act. I'll happily have a conversation about the VA Emissions Act after you respond to the claim that I made about the big, beautiful bill. Because if you are now attempting to shift the goalpost and have a conversation about the VA Emissions Act instead of the big, beautiful bill, my claim that it cut 10 million low-income Americans off of Medicaid, I just simply call you a pivoter, right? But obviously, you're going to be a good faith interlocutor. So I want you to respond to my claim. You said, oh, well, now during the government shutdown, people like can't go to the hospital, can't talk to their physicians if they're on Medicaid. You could thank the Democrats in Congress for that, for shutting down the government, which, by the way, I don't think the Democrats did. But then I was like, in response, okay. So does this mean that we could also thank Trump and the Republicans in Congress for the 10 million low-income Americans that no longer have access to Medicaid because the big, beautiful bill took it away from them, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, alongside the Congressional Budget Office?
Does that mean they don't have secondary insurances? Did you check the data whether these people did not have a secondary supplementary insurance? Yes or no?
Why would a low-income American that's on Medicaid have
Oh,
second
wait
insurance?
a second. Oh, excuse me. Why? Is that your answer? Are you pivoting right now? Answer the question. Do you have an evidence to support that these people who were kicked out based on what you're saying over Medicare, Medicaid programs did not have a secondary supplementary insurance? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's look up what percentage of like low-income Americans making $20,000 per year have secondary or supplementary insurance.
Oh, you can't even spell it. Yeah, motherfucker, bye.
Oh, so because I didn't pronounce insurance correctly on the first try, now you're going to leave? Oh, he did. Also, you said you can't even spell it. No, I couldn't pronounce it. There's a difference between spelling a word and pronouncing a word. Jesus Christ. Even in his like one-line zinger that he like dropped before he like dipped because he's terrified, right? He wasn't even like tracking. Even in like the one-line zinger, oh, Dean, you can't even... He fucked that one up too. God damn it, bro. Hate to be you. Fucking it all up, man. How embarrassing. All right, guys. I mean, if that's the state of America, if that's the state of MAGA, if that's where we're at, guys, I'm very fearful for the future generations.